Hey, it's me, Big P. Wanted to do a super quick video kind of wrapping up my thoughts so far on the Diablo 4 beta. Long story short, it's definitely too early to tell, whether this game has the same longevity or playability as other modern ARPGs or even other Diablo games. But I was thoroughly whelmed by what we had to offer here. It was, it felt very middle of the road, but I will say it felt more like Blizzard setting like the floor of an ARPG instead of like the new standard of an ARGB, which is a little disappointing. But hey, maybe the biggest sin they could do is make another, single player focused, very cosmetic. Uh, yeah, the game looks great. Maybe make with a focus on their campaign and stuff like that, because we haven't seen the end game grind and stuff, which is really what where the game starts for a lot of people. I will say a lot of the design choices seem to be more like an MMO, which means that, hey, that grind might be starting earlier rather than later. I wasn't actually a huge fan of the whole, do side quests to gain rewards, particularly if they're locked behind skill points, or rather locking the skill points behind them. If it started to feel a little tedious in just Act 1, I know it's just a beta and whatever, but I can't imagine they're going to be designing new fabulous quests that they're just hiding away in, the Acts 2 and beyond. It does feel very, iterative, and that's just kind of how the design overall feels, it feels more iterative. If I was, being nice to Blizzard, I would say, hey, this is consistent and iterative design. Like, say, for example, the whole skill tree thing, it feels like kind of a midway point between 2 and 3. But, at the same time, it's like I was kind of hoping for 4. And it's feeling like maybe Blizzard is just resting on its laurels and being kind of lazy. But again, too early to say. I don't want to be super mean to Blizzard, but it's Blizzard, so fuck Blizzard. Like, who cares? Ultimately, the game is going to be successful, but I'm not the type of person to point to a game's sales and be like, hey, see, that is what makes the game good and why the game is good. No, we can really kind of take a look at the design and say, hey, this is feeling a little MMO and even a little mobile gamey at times, which is, makes me nervous. But again, way too early to say. These games live and die and are defined by their end games. We didn't really get much of that. But overall, I mean, the control, well, let's talk about the control real quick, because I know I saw a lot of people complaining about the lack of force move. And I too was kind of missing it. It was definitely some of the bosses and stuff like that. The boss design is just not there. It's fine. It's again, I was whelmed by it. I was very average. Maybe I've been spoiled by Path of Exile. I definitely have been spoiled by Path of Exile when it comes to bossing. The bosses felt like, like a Borderlands or Destiny 2 boss, where you were really hitting them with 100,000 lightning bolt projectiles or whatever a million times before they die. And it's just overall, it just feels like a little. It feels strange to be playing this and having it be from a triple A game studio, even in a beta, early on, because the coats of paint are there. The whole presentation is fantastic. The cutscenes, whatever. I think I'll eventually play it and beat it, if not just for the experience of the campaign. Um, do I see myself getting it and getting really into it like at launch? Probably not. I think like this has been enough to kind of, quell any sort of initiative that I wanted to take and pre-order or buy it, which is kind of the opposite of what they might have hoped for with the open beta and everything. Or, well, this is the closed early access. Who gives a shit? It's all just advertisement for their game, which is, let's say, decent at best and maybe mediocre and potentially really poor at worst. And again, it depends to be seen. And hey, let's be fair in the same way. If I was to judge Path before, while it was in open beta, while it had 2-3 acts, if I was to judge it before it had the sort of modular design that it has now, akin to Magic sets where they're building, another set and every league brings something different. Maybe they'll have that sort of design where they can build on it in D4, and this is just the base of, you know, the next definitive whatever ARPG in the genre, and we'll bring everybody else up to a new level of competition. Unfortunately, I don't think that's what's happening here. I think that's a little bit optimistic to hope for that, for modern Blizzard to kind of do that. You know, I would have hoped that they would have stolen a lot, obviously, from Path and then from other people in the competition. I haven't played much of Path's competition because there is none. But, you know, there's a lot of different design choices to take from. And this, again, feels just sort of like you don't need to reinvent the wheel, but put some hubcaps on it or something. We do have that. It does look nice, but at the same time, it just feels like kind of a more, you know, more of the same, which, hey, maybe people are fine with, and hey, people are going to buy it. You know, it's obviously going to shatter sales records and whatever because of the hype surrounding it. And maybe it'll get more people into the genre, which I guess is a good thing. But overall, it just feels like, you know, kind of like a cheeseburger, but not like a diner cheeseburger. It feels like a fast food cheeseburger, which is fine. It's not going to be good for you. I probably wouldn't recommend eating it every day. I'd probably just get through the campaign, and then, you know, unless, you know, late game itemization again is going to kind of define a lot of how this all comes together. It's hard to say right now, and we're at a point where, you know, the legendaries are interesting, and I'm glad that sets are gone, but they don't really feel as build defining. Well, it does say like the uniques or whatever will come later in the game again. So I mean, I guess again, we'll just have to see. There's not really enough information. And I won't say that I'm not interested at all in playing it, but I'm certainly not going to rush out and buy it myself. Definitely wait and see with Blizzard. I mean, hey, who knows? With games nowadays, they could push this out the door, support it for a year, and then it's just dead. You know, like, we never say never when it comes to stuff like this. Do not forget that this is the company that prioritized the mobile game Diablo Immortal, which they, by the way, made a huge killing on despite being critically panned, and it's a terrible game, full of pay-to-win bullshit. This is that same company. They are closer to that company there than they are to the company that made even Diablo 3, to say nothing of Diablo 2. You know, I didn't play 2 or 3 that much, despite playing a bunch of Diablo 2, the new ladder this year, as well as the final season, or, well, the latest season of Diablo 3. So I'm not, like, against Diablo. I guess I'm not against giving Blizzard some money here and there, but it's definitely, you know, kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little worried. Not that, you know, I'm gonna, you know, live, and I will obviously be playing other ARPGs in the genre and stuff like that. If not just because this is leaving me feeling a little wanted. Let's put it this way: I understand the parts of my brain that Path tingles and scratches, and this game leaves a lot itching. You know, it kind of just feels like it's just pulling from some real old school and classic design, from, you know, like a little bit of Guild Wars, where like you'll be completing the whole area for all of the missions. And to be honest, that was like very chill and nice, but, you know, again, we'll have to see late game gearing and itemization and just the builds that can come together. What's going to happen. I'm not really going to talk too much about classes and stuff like that, because we only had 3, and you basically barely had enough points to get into like the last section, and not enough to get to the build defining ones here. Not, although I don't know, some of these do seem a little boring, and it does seem like, at least early on, it's just hunting for like +1s here and there, much in the same way that like Path is, and then also Diablo 2 is, but maybe with the tighter ceiling. Again, too early to tell, and I'm kind of just rambling all over the place. But yeah, overall, wait and see. That is all we can do, because there's just not enough right now. I'm not at the point where I'm just gonna rush out and buy it and find out for myself, because I feel like I can kind of just wait around, maybe get it on a sale after, you know, Blizzard's projected 40 bajillion copies, you know, sold, doesn't hit that mark, and then they'll put it on a huge sale with some other, you know, at the release of a new season. You know, you don't have to rush out, but I certainly don't feel compelled to buy this day one or pre-order it or anything like that. And yeah, it's kind of a shame because I want there to be more good games. As much as I hate Blizzard, you know, ultimately it's a game I can play and consume. On the consumer side, there's not really much to do but just play and bitch like I have been doing. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know how you felt about the whole beta so far. I definitely had fun playing with it through it with a friend, but like we were kind of getting, if we don't even have a full weekend of play and we're trying to like complete the quests out here, you know, maybe it's just because, you know, that we can see the end of the stick that holds the carrot, because 25 was the max level. If it's getting this tedious already though, it's not a good sign. And I can't help but feel like that is going to have, they're going to make this huge massive world that's going to be like 3 or 4 tile sets of a dungeon, just like kind of redone. You know, you can see where the money goes in the design of Blizzard games, and it's really on the environment and voice acting and you know, the sound design, which is all pretty good. You know, it's not as groundbreaking as Blizzard used to be, so honestly, maybe that's going to be it for them. Maybe, like, you know, it used to be like you would see a Blizzard cutscene and be like, damn, that's how you know this game is going to be good, despite it not having anything to do with the game. Now it's not even that much higher above the competitors and stuff like that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what else you want to see on the channel. We're going to get back into some path content, as well as some maybe like Elden Ring speedrunning challenge run type stuff. And yeah, again, let me know what you think in the comments, and why I'm a GGG shill. GGG did pay me 100 Zealand bucks to make this scathing review of Blizzard's game, but like honestly, Blizzard doesn't even feel like in the same ballpark. Like they don't feel like they're competing with Path of Exile with what they currently have. So good luck to Blizzard, go to hell, and I'll see you in the next one.